So the big question is this: how do women over 30 struggling to lose weight and or looking to tone and lose unwanted body fat in those stubborn areas like the midsection, love handles, thighs, and upper arms, how do they build their dream bodies and keep their results long-term without surgery and without feeling like the only way to make it happen is to eat cardboard and broccoli the rest of their life? That is what this podcast is all about, and each episode is full of proven strategies that you can apply right away to create your dream body, allowing you to look younger, feel younger, and skyrocket your confidence. Welcome to the Transformation Secrets for Women podcast. Hello, my name is Trev Bucheri, and welcome to the Transformation Secrets for Women podcast. So excited to be here, so grateful to be here because this is our first episode. This is our launch. And I'm just so excited because I know the value we have to provide for you. We've been working with over 25,000 patients. We've helped them lose well over 500,000 pounds. And now we're going to be actually taking all these secrets, all these strategies that have worked so well for us and for our patients and sharing them with you. I'd love to take today to talk about, what we're going to be covering throughout this podcast, and also to introduce you to myself so you can really just get an idea of my personal history and how I got here and how this whole thing came to be. So let's talk about what we're going to be covering in the podcast. The podcast is really just dedicated to empowering women, boosting confidence, and just cultivating overall happiness. And it really, throughout the podcast, we're going to be going through a lot of powerful discussions. We're going to be sharing transformations with our past patients and current patients that are in here as well. And also just providing you with practical tips, also practical strategies to help you and other women just like you thrive in all areas of their life here. So I'd love to now go in and just give you an introduction and talk to you about my story. How the heck did I get here, right? And also at any time, please feel free, go ahead, click below or head over to midsectionmelt.com to claim your complimentary midsection treatment and also your clinical consultation with us, where if we don't deliver you measurable results on the spot, we actually pay you $50 for your time. That's how much we believe in what we do. So this all started for me because I was an overweight kid. I actually had some kidney issues, and I was very, very active, came down with some kidney issues that really left me sedentary when I was 8 years old. And I was told that I couldn't do anything. I was told that I couldn't play outside, play sports, ride my bike, all the things that I was into. And really, because of that, I got super bored and I took up power eating, and truthfully, in all seriousness, I really just started overeating sweets and not moving, and that's really what it was at the end of the day. And I gained a bunch of weight, and this continued for quite a few years, all the way into high school. And I'll tell you what, I didn't even know what confidence was because I hadn't really had a taste of it, but I knew I wasn't really happy with where I was, even at such a young age. And then when I was about 17 years old, actually, I was approached by a buddy of mine. His name was Todd Zandowitz. I'll never forget him. And we're actually still in touch to this day. And thank you, Todd. Appreciate you. And he was basically the jock, right? He was the football player. He was the head quarterback. He was all that. And he's like, "Hey, man, you should come out and play football. You should come out and play football this upcoming season." And I was heading into my senior year, and I was like, "Why not? Why not?" He's like, "Hey, come over to my house and work out." He lived right down the street from me. So Todd taught me how to work out that summer. And really, just in a couple short weeks. And I could already notice a big difference in my body. Of course, when you're that age, things happen, that quickly. But then after a couple months, it was the same thing. And all of a sudden, I was speaking to more people. I was more proud of the way that I looked, more proud of the way that I felt. And I was like, what is this? And again, this was my first taste with confidence. And I immediately saw that, wow, this is actually not even just changing my body. More, this is actually changing my entire perception of myself, how I carry myself, how I put myself out to the world. And I was like, do others know about this? What is going on here? I need to share this with others. That's really where I got my first taste of this. So I decided after high school to go into college for exercise physiology, and I did that, and also nutrition. And I learned. I really just got into the actual science behind everything and really started mastering the art of body transformation at that point, moving forward. After college, I got a position for Erie One Bosse's actually developing their personal training curriculum and their personal training program and launching that for the school, which was also an amazing opportunity. And I was really happy with what I was doing, but I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't fulfilled. And again, I didn't really know what that was, but I was like, why am I not, just like floating on cloud nine at this particular point in my life. I had everything. I had a nice steady job. I was getting paid well. I was dating an amazing girl. But still I felt like, man, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. Is this the next 20 years for me? And you know what? There is absolutely nothing wrong with teaching. I love teaching, and I came from a family of teachers, and in fact, I still teach today. But it just wasn't the format that was the most inspiring for me long term, that I felt like, wow, I'm not even working. You know what I mean? I didn't really necessarily feel like that, with that particular role. Because I loved it during the building phase of it, but once it was in the entire thing is built and now I'm going through the day-to-day, it just wasn't inspiring to me, anymore. I needed more of a challenge. I wanted more of a challenge, I really should say. And then I got the phone call that changed my life forever. It was after school one day. I remember I was standing up at the whiteboard and I was writing down my lessons for the next day. And it had been a great day. And, it was my fiance at the time. And, she actually called me and she said, hey, I've got some news for you. And I said, okay, what is it? And she said, I'm pregnant. And that really floored me. That set me back on my heels big time. And well, first things first, I was super grateful that I had literally just proposed to her about a week prior to that, right? So we had just become engaged, and then I got the news. But I remember thinking, oh man, I got to do something different. Here's my chance to do something different. I don't know what it is, but here's my chance. And with all the studying that I had done, through building the entire program, building the entire curriculum, I was at the top of my game with my knowledge. And also throughout that, I had thought, man, if I built this thing, if I could build this thing, and with all my knowledge, I could build my own program and transform people's lives. I know I could. And I was having, it's like side daydreams about it all the way up to that point. So that's what I decided to do. I went in the following Tuesday, I quit my job, and I started a gym, a gym dedicated to weight loss and body transformation. The same things that I'd gone through myself, and the same things that I had actually been mastering already at that point, from the time that I was 17 years old, and I was 30 at the time. And I'm super grateful because the business grew extremely quickly into 4 locations. Here we are from start, boom, 4 locations in about 4 years. And, at that particular point, I said, you know what? It's time to hyper expand. I decided to hyper expand. And I decided, hey, in 1 year, I'm going to open up 4 more locations. I'm going to franchise the business, and I'm also going to write a book, which ended up actually turning into 2 books. And I did all those things, opened up 4 locations. We built the franchise, and also I wrote 2 books in that one particular year. And this is when things started to crash. Because in my business immaturity, I was unprepared. I was ill-prepared to actually manage that level of growth, that speed of growth, because we were crushing it with our 4 locations. So I said to myself, well, why wouldn't we be crushing it immediately with 8 locations? And, well, hindsight is 20/20, isn't it, right? So, over time, I will say we actually began coming together. We began coming together slowly, but surely over time. But the thing is that there was so much finance that actually went into not only starting these additional locations, but also maintaining them, because they were hemorrhaging cash. So I was utilizing my 4 locations that I had that were doing extremely well just to get by with my 4 locations that were not doing well. And it was kind of like the money was depleting and the debt was growing, right? And finally, we started getting some traction, and so momentum, and that was great. And we had about 3 months of momentum. It was December, January, February, and then what happened? COVID happened, and it was really a sad thing, because I had taken all my reserves, from that I had built up from my current locations that were doing so well, put it into expansion. And those reserves had been eaten up, along with a huge amount of, say, governmental loans that I had taken to keep everything afloat because of COVID. And it really just gobbled me up. And I was ill prepared to handle that. And I was really just disappointed in myself, for really just being so frivolous with it. But you know what? We don't know what we don't know. And what I decided to do was I decided to close down all the locations, except I kept 1 location open that I practically ended up just giving away. And it was heartbreaking, just thinking about all the work that I had done, all the time, all the dedication, all the creativity that had gone into that, and only to close it down. And all the people that I had let down, at the end of the day, both personally and also from a professional standpoint that had become close friends. And I was really disappointed in myself. And it took me a long time to really just get off my back. I'd been knocked on my heels and fell over on my back. And, I truly believe that everything is for us, not to us. But it took me a long time to unwrap that and unravel that and come back from that and to be able to get back up and start building back up my own self-confidence in terms of what I had to offer. And from there I dabbled in several things. I dabbled in, stem cell therapy. I dabbled in a men's health clinic. And then I had an epiphany. I remember just not being satisfied with any of this stuff and thinking, what do I love doing? What do I love doing and what am I great at? And it came down to body transformation. It came down to, I love working with women. I love empowering individuals. And it just so happened that I was great at it. I had a proven track record with it. I had a lot of success and I loved doing it. But I was like, how can I get back in it and do something different? Because another thing that I thought was, what was I not providing in that experience? With everything that I learned through working with thousands and thousands of people and the accumulation of well over 500,000 pounds lost with my clients, the one thing that stood out was spot reduction. The thing that we say is cliche, spot reduction's impossible. That was the one thing. And really what it came down to was, we were amazing at helping people lose weight. We were helping people lose 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100, 140, 150 pounds. Many people in the Century Club, many people. But what was one thing that just stood, true over and over again was something like this. Wow, my upper body, my arms are doing really well. My thighs are really coming into play. But my midsection is just, whatever I do, regardless of what I do, my midsection will just not cooperate with me. And that was the I guess you'd say the chokehold or the constraint that I set out to resolve, because I said, okay, if I was to basically take everything that I was super successful with right now and find a technology to help me actually master spot reduction, I'd be onto something. And that's where our philosophy was born. Our philosophy is a two-phase philosophy. It's lose it, tone it. First things first, we want to actually lose the body fat in our targeted trouble area, like the midsection, the thighs, the arms. Those are the most common areas that we work with. And then once we actually lose the body fat in that area, lose the circumference, or we're able to flatten the area, call it, then we want to then tone it. And again, that is the breakthrough that I said, wow, find the right technology, combine it with everything that I've already been doing from a strategic standpoint, and we could be onto something. So very quickly, I put the model together in terms of an experimental model. I really just began testing and measuring everything with our technology, what worked, what wasn't working, just to be able to find the best application and treatment method, and we found it. We found a superior combination of the technology and the proven strategies that we've already had proven with thousands and thousands of people and hundreds of thousands of pounds. And we launched, and now we're providing a proprietary transformation experience to our patients like none other. And I'm so grateful for it. I really am. And now we've actually just opened up our second location, which is now our first of many satellite locations in Denver, Colorado. So we have our location in Buffalo, New York, and we're just opening up our satellite location literally as we speak in Denver, Colorado. And I'm grateful for just all the experiences and opportunities that have been created for me. It's interesting because in those times when we fall, it's very hard to see the forest through the trees. We concentrate on the failure of the moment and not on everything that we've actually acquired in terms of knowledge throughout the process. It took a lot of courage, for me to muster up and face my mistakes in this situation. In essence, the frivolous actions, without being really well thought out, made me crash. But only through that was I able to actually learn what not to do in the future. And also it just brought to light truly what I want and also truly what I have to offer. I learned just how much I love transformation and being able to help other people, because now more than ever, I understand it's not just about losing the weight. It's not just about flattening and toning the midsection. It's not just about losing the cellulite on the thighs or losing inches in circumference in the thighs and fitting into those dress pants. It's not just all about losing the actual bingo arms, underneath the tricep here. It's not all about that at all. It's about what's enabled in our lives once that happens. It's about the life transformation. And the body transformation is truly just the vehicle. The body transformation is the vehicle to get us there. Flattening the midsection, being able to wear the clothing that we want is the vehicle, all right? Toning the thighs and getting our dream legs, getting our dream arms, getting our dream body, that is the vehicle to give us what we actually truly want, which is that boost in confidence, that boost in self-esteem, feeling that we truly, truly love ourselves. Because if you're like me, I beat myself up when I'm not in my true form. I'm constantly distracted in terms of, pulling my shirt out and being like, oh my gosh, can everyone see my gut? I'm not in a great form. And many people love where they're at. Many people love where they're at. And I wish I were one of those people in many cases, but I'm not. And I've also learned to embrace that because I'm able to take all the knowledge that I've acquired and help individuals that share that with me. And through that entire experience, we've just seen, I can't even tell you, countless life transformations to where people change their body and their entire energy changes because their perception about themselves changes and the way that they carry themselves changes because they changed their body and now all of a sudden their mind changed, their self-love changed, and through that they're better able to do everything in their life from all areas of life. They're better spiritually, they're better mentally, they're better financially in many cases, they're better with their family, better example, better partner, right? They're better from a work standpoint, they're better from a social standpoint because, if you're like me, I was actually in situations, because I've bounced up and down, of course, over the years, but many times where I've actually avoided social situations because I was uncomfortable with where I was at. So it's just been an amazing thing to see people's lives literally transformed through the vehicle of body transformation, and that's what this is all about. And that's actually what I talk about in my book. These are the books that I was talking about that I ended up writing at that particular time, and that is the philosophy of fit mind plus fit body equals fit life is exactly what we're teaching here. So thank you so much for joining me today. I so appreciate it. And please go ahead, feel free if you're interested in it, claim your complimentary midsection treatment clinical consultation with us, where again, if we don't deliver you measurable results on the spot, we'll actually pay you $50 for your time. And also, I'd so appreciate it if you please follow or subscribe. Again, my name is Trev Bucheri. Thank you so much for investing your time with me today, and give your best to the rest of your day. Take care. Thank you so much for listening today. And if you found value here, please go ahead and follow or subscribe. And also, please take a moment to share it with anyone you feel would benefit. Now, also, don't forget, as your free gift just for listening, you're able to claim your complimentary midsection treatment and clinical consultation with a value of over $250, where if we don't deliver you measurable results on the spot, we actually pay you $50 for your time. Simply go to midsectionmelt.com. That's midsectionmelt.com. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.